Part 266. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2651. In general, the combat effectiveness of the entire first-year seed class has been directly raised to a higher level. After a few days of weapons training, it was time to say goodbye. Before leaving, the middle-aged beautiful woman mentor Ding Ling specially watched Fang Fan for a long time. Those eyes seemed to want to stare at Fang Fan completely. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, and he felt his scalp numb for no reason. Needless to say about the others, this feeling is very real anyway. Fang Fan still hasn't figured out why this guy keeps targeting him. Fang Fan couldn't figure out how to offend this boss. Teacher Ding Ling, don't look at me like that. I know I'm charming, but we're really not suitable. Fang Fan sighed, and then said with a sigh. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, didn't realize it at first, but when she did, she immediately gave Fang Fan an annoyed look. This bastard, what are you talking about? Is there anything else in this brain that thinks about it? Also, so much involved. This is so beautiful, so beautiful. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, was furious, and her eyes staring at Fang Fan became more and more sharp. Do you really want to know why I keep targeting you? The middle-aged beautiful tutor Ding Ling suddenly put away the anger on her face, and replaced it with a sly look. Fang Fan shrugged, and said calmly, it's very simple, I'm too attractive, but you can't get it. Naturally there will be resentment in my heart. Fang Fan nodded, speaking clearly and logically. You kid is not a little narcissistic. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, rolled her eyes, and complained angrily. The excitement I felt just now disappeared without a trace. Good guy, I just want to sigh good guy at this moment. I know you want to know, but I don't want you to know what I know. I'm anxious to kill you. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful tutor, hummed twice, and then left with a proud face. Fang Fan. There is something wrong with this woman's mind. There is something wrong with this brain turning. Hey, I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, the feeling in this aspect is in place. Let's go, finally go. My God, I'm finally liberated. If I knew that the drill in the seed class was crying so much, I wouldn't come if I was killed. Who said it's good to enter the seed class? Liars. They're all a bunch of liars. Bai Piao trembled his lips, roared, and the corners of his mouth twitched violently unnaturally. At this moment, black lines appeared on his forehead, and he was completely stupefied. Here the thoughts gather here, and the state of mind collapses invisibly. It's so damn difficult. These days he was either being beaten, or on the way to be beaten. It's all because of this weapon training entrapment. Among them, Fang Fan and Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman mentor, targeted Bai Piao the most. Now that the middle-aged beautiful woman mentor Ding Ling is gone, Bai Piao couldn't help but focus her resentful eyes on Fang Fan. You are so cruel. Bai Piao deliberately roared in that rather sharp voice. Fang Fan almost died on the spot. Sometimes physical attacks are not terrible, after all, they can be prevented, but this kind of magical attacks cannot be prevented at all. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2652. Once the magic attack is on the scene, just go up and do it. Who can guard against this shit? Don't disgust me. Fang Fan's face darkened, and then he complained from the side. After the middle-aged beautiful woman mentor Ding Ling left, Tai Shija came to the scene soon. Your training places should be in place these days. Now I will take you to see some really big scenes. The corners of Tai Shiji's mouth rose slightly, and the expression on his face became more and more excited. This is also a small plan in his training plan. After seeing the smile on Taishuja's face, all the first-year students subconsciously thumped. It's not that they haven't heard of this prestige, and now they panicked instantly. It's still unknown what it will look like by then. Teacher Taishu, what are we going to do? Is there any danger? Zuoki Otaxu took a deep breath, then silently walked forward and asked secretly. What are you going to do? You will know later. As for the danger. How to say this thing, in fact, there is danger anytime, anywhere. No matter when and where, there must be danger, there is no doubt about it. Just like you are standing here right now, you are in danger of being slapped to death by me. Taishuji nodded, and then gave an example in a serious manner. Zuoki Otaxu's face froze. This metaphor is really too hardcore. Having said all this, what else can he say? If you continue to talk nonsense, I'm afraid you will be beaten directly. Zuoki Otaxu shrunk his neck subconsciously, his face could not help showing a sigh. Thinking of this in my heart, I can't hide the tension in my heart. The name of Taishuja's necromancer is no joke. Why do I feel that the moment I leave the wolf's den, I'm about to enter the tiger's mouth? I'm not going to be beaten again. Bai Piao took a deep breath, and while talking, the black lines on his forehead involuntarily increased. Now he is really scared. Damn it, it never stopped. Brother Bai Piao, your defense is so strong, what are you afraid of? It should be us who are nervous and afraid. Your worry is completely unnecessary. Guisha shrugged and said sincerely. If it's normal, of course I'm not worried. I have nothing to worry about. But this guy Fang Fan is deliberately targeting me. He likes to take revenge on me now. What if I'm beaten to death by then? Damn it, I'm too wronged. Bai Piao took a deep breath, and while talking, the corners of his mouth twitched, and he was speechless at the moment. Brother Bai Piao, Brother Fang Fan is not that unreasonable. Brother Fang Fan didn't target you at the beginning, but you insisted on provoking. Now I am afraid of being retaliated. This. You just promised that sentence. Gisha raised his eyebrows, and then said solemnly. What sentence? Bai Piao blinked, curious. The more you cook, the more you love to play. That's the sentence. Let's eat a little, can't we just stop? I have to find abuse. Brother Bai Piao, I always thought, do you have a special hobby in this area? If you have a hobby in this area, just say it. I can satisfy you. Guisha said sincerely. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2653. What kind of thing has a special hobby? I don't have a special habit of being beaten. Don't talk about it. What kind of person am I? Bai Piao's face darkened, and then he complained all over. In any case, this reputation cannot be bad. At this moment, hundreds of people from the first-year seed class gathered behind Taishuja, preparing to go to an unknown training ground. These students are more or less apprehensive. The deterrent power of the name of the necromancer is too great. Some are even forming small leagues for self-help. Whether you can train at that time is a small problem, whether you can save your life is the key to the key. You take off all the clothes of the students in the academy and put on normal clothes. After returning to the location, you are not allowed to reveal your identities. All follow the command and act. If something happens, I can't control it. This trip, besides me, there are 4 mentors leading you. It's time to stop, give me a break. Uncle G sneered coldly, as a greeting in advance, and soon after, other mentors rushed over. At a glance, they are all old acquaintances. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy. Sima Zhen, the super tutor of the God of War Academy. Murong Yu, the first level tutor of the God of War Academy. There is also Ding Ling, a middle-aged beautiful woman instructor who has just finished her weapons training. The wheel went round and round, and it came back again. Add Tai Shiji together, that's 5 people. After Fang Fan saw Murong Yu, he subconsciously walked over to say hello, and by the way, explained how dangerous the next training would be. But as soon as he took 2 steps, the expression on Fang Fan's face became very exciting. He saw Murong Yu and that middle-aged beautiful woman mentor Ding Ling having a happy conversation, holding hands. Obviously they have a very close relationship. Fang Fan's footsteps retreated subconsciously. Of course he could feel that something was wrong at this moment. In any case, it will be safe. As for the others, it is enough to be stable accordingly, and there is no need to worry too much. Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air, thinking to himself, his eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance. Fang Fan. After Murong Yu saw Fang Fan, he walked over specially, and the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor Ding Ling naturally also walked over subconsciously. Yo! This is the little man you mentioned earlier. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, suddenly followed Yin Yang and said strangely. Of course, the voice of their conversation is not very loud, and they are relatively close to the side, and the surrounding area is subconsciously closed, so it is difficult for others to hear. Cough. Teacher Ding Ling, we meet again. Are you Yuer's elder? Is it Yuer's mother? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and then glanced at the face of Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful tutor, who seemed to be somewhat similar to Murong Yu. You, what did you say? You bastard, you, where did you see that I am Yuer's mother? You, bastard. I'm that old. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, took a deep breath. She was out of breath at the moment, and while talking, her body trembled unnaturally. Now he looks completely pissed off. This wave was over immediately. It's nonsense to say 1,000 words and 10,000, but the current anger is the most real. For it. You call her Yuer, the tone is quite intimate. You are not in this relationship, what else could it be? Fang Fan shrugged and replied helplessly. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2654. If I call her Yuer, is that her mother? What on earth are you thinking? You bastard is thinking about all kinds of messy things. Murong Yu and I are very good friends. I am Xiangfei's aunt. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, couldn't bear it anymore, and immediately blew herself up. Concubine Xiang's aunt. Fang Fan was so shocked. Is there any relationship involved in it? What does this mean? Thinking of this now, I feel my brain buzzing for no reason. Feelings invisibly become stronger. Needless to say anything else, this feeling is in place virtually. Cough. So it's my aunt. Just now, how offended you were just now. But it's not all my fault, you didn't reveal your identity at the beginning. I was still thinking, why do you keep targeting me? The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, then he shrugged and followed suit. Looking at it from every angle, this brain is buzzing. What is going on here? Humph. If you're not targeting you bastard, who are you targeting? Why did that girl Xiangfei fall in love with you? Just thinking about it makes me so angry. Really are. How does it feel to hug left and right in the training room? You bastard, you really have a lot of flower heads. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman mentor, gritted her silver teeth, and while talking, she followed up with complaints. Needless to say anything else, the feeling in my heart at this moment is basically in place. It feels real. It turned out that it was for the sake of concubine Xiang to fight the injustice. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and could only fake a smile. This can't be followed by contradicting. Cough. Then what? I still have something to do, Teacher Dingling, I'll be leaving first. Fang Fan rolled his eyes, and then ran away. There is no chance to have a good time with Murong Yu. How did you fall in love with him in the first place? Why do you all fall in love with each other? Look at his slick mouth. There are also those eyes, which have been circulating around the body. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, watched Fang Fan leave, and then made a comprehensive accusation from the side. Murong Yu smiled and said nothing. Among them, the charm is endless. This guy has an intoxicating charm. Especially for women, it is too deadly. That's why I sink into it again and cannot extricate myself. Sometimes I just can't control my heart. Needless to say anything else, this feeling gradually became extremely real. Thoughts gather here, and there is an inexplicable sense of sweetness. After everyone changed their clothes, they headed in an unknown direction. Fang Fan went to ask Taishiji where he went for further training, but he didn't expect this cheap master to say no comment. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and there was a different kind of brilliance in his eyes, thinking to himself, all kinds of feelings became more invisible. After everyone left the Guangming Academy, they flew in all directions for about an hour, and came directly to the Holy City of Light where the first-class Temple of the Light Alliance is located. Immediately after wandering around in the Holy City of Light, he came to a rather remote place. Fang Fan glanced around and subconsciously opened his mouth. At this moment, I feel some scalp numbness for no reason. Why does it feel like I'm going to be directly kidnapped now? Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2655. This hidden place is still inaccessible to ordinary people. Fang Fan can still understand if it is for training and experience, going to that kind of magic cave or monster forest. What are you going to do when you come to this remote place in the Holy City of Light? Fighting directly in the Holy City of Light? Go in. This is the largest Colosseum in the Holy City of Light. Let you feel the smell of blood here today. The gladiatorial mode here is similar to the school exchange competition you are about to face. Don't be absolutely sure that the exchange matches between universities and colleges are regular friendly matches. Because it involves the division of sacred soil resources, this time the school exchange competition is 100 times more cruel than usual. At that time, in the arena of martial arts, it will be a matter of life and death. Even more cruel than this Colosseum. Don't talk nonsense after entering, don't move around. If you violate the rules inside and get beaten to death, you deserve it. Uncle G gave everyone a vaccination in advance, and while talking, he followed up with a full-fledged complaint. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this feeling followed in place virtually. The Colosseum. Black boxing. There are places like this in the Holy City of Light. Master, is it really good for you to bring us here? We are still immature flowers. If you grow up in such a destructive way, isn't the pressure too great? Fang Fan shrugged, and then followed suit. Young flower buds. If you want to say that I believe in others, you don't know how many innocent souls you have in your hands. Leave me alone. Let's go. Go in quickly. I issued a token to each of you, and then you can just use the token to get in. Let you feel the atmosphere first. The real training has just begun. Taishiji licked his lips and said excitedly. Looking at his Uncle G's gradually abnormal smile and expression, Fang Fan suddenly knew how his former brothers and sisters were trained to death. Meeting such a crazy master, it's hard not to die. The name of the necromancer is worthy of the name. Teacher Taishu, isn't your training plan a bit too much? This Colosseum is not some other place. Some of us students may not have seen that horrible scene. You have to give them some time to prepare. It would be bad if they directly destroyed their willpower. Ding Ling, the middle-aged beautiful woman tutor, frowned, looking a little benevolent. Teacher Ding Ling, this statement is wrong. Now let them see these horror scenes earlier, so that they can better know that in a real battle, if you relax a little, you will die. Only the scenes of real swords and guns can make them feel something. If they don't even dare to look at it, how will they go to the fighting arena like this in the future? In other words, if they are really frightened by this scene, it can only show that they are all a bunch of trash. It's useless to cultivate such waste. Tai Shuja always speaks straight to the point. While speaking, he immediately waved his big hand, looking extremely proud. A wave of feelings is in place, directly shocking to the extreme. Necromancers have always only cultivated elites. In the eyes of the necromancer, there are only two kinds of students, elite and trash. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2656. So to be able to make such a move, to some extent, it does not seem strange. Taken together, the boss's world is so powerful. Sometimes it is to torture and kill all dissatisfied. Everyone lined up and walked into this remote Colosseum. Don't look at the desolation outside, but the crowds inside. Looking at the past, they are all excited crowds. The smell of blood and alcohol was everywhere in the air. This Colosseum was built underground. At a glance, there are about a dozen arenas. At the moment, basically all the arenas are full. Both sides of the battle, in fact, generally speaking, there are both cultivators and monsters. There are violent monsters and monsters for crazy battles. There are also scarred cultivators fighting against monsters. There are even two blood-stained beast fighters fighting each other. Surrounding the various arenas are cultivators who are frantically waving their flags and shouting. At this moment, their eyeballs widened, and their excitement was revealed. Kill! 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 Kill him to death! Hey Fu! Come on! Damn it! Idiot! Stand up! Labor and management have put 10 million on you. Damn! Trash! This trash, what are you doing pulling it out? Snow King! Snow King! Kill him! Strong! Extremely powerful! Kill all these people, and you win. Another big dark horse. Ha ha ha. This is Xanu, it's really too strong. Strangle his throat and tear it apart. The sounds of madness continued, and the scene became more and more insane. Needless to say anything else, this feeling has become extremely strong virtually. Although the beast fighters and monsters on the arena were violent, they were not as noisy as the audience. These audiences are basically here to gamble. Each arena represents a gambling table. There is naturally a banker manipulating all this behind the scenes. Hit harder. The worse the fight, the more excited they were. The sense of madness in these people's bones arises spontaneously. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this feeling gradually gathered, and it became extremely intense invisibly. On each of the arenas, visible to the naked eye, you can see a lot of broken bones, and even puddles of minced meat. The people on the arena are no longer human, they are all devils. In order to win, in order to live, in order to survive, at all costs. In order to win, any method is legal, and any weapon will be used. Hands, teeth, feet, and even heads can all be used as weapons to fight back. On the beast arena where Fang Fan and the others were, a beast fighter happened to have his head smashed by a monster, and then blood spurted out along with his brain. The shattered skull is so real in front of the eyes, inexplicably giving people a feeling of throbbing in the heart. Some students who were in a bad mood immediately started to vomit. This scene, this smell, is indeed a little disgusting. Especially those female students, who usually look so delicate, how can they see this kind of scene at this moment? At this moment, Fang Fan could clearly feel that Xiao Liyulai's complexion gradually turned pale, and then he grabbed his hand tightly, unwilling to let go again. Lu Jiyi on the side didn't feel much. One could tell at a glance that Lu Jiyi was killed in a rain of blood, but Xiao Liyulai had seen relatively few such fighting scenes. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2657. Anyway, among the students in the first year seed class, there are quite a few who vomit. It can only be said that these people were pampered and raised, and they should all come from major forces, with noble status, and lack of severe beatings since childhood. On the other hand, Guisha, who was born in a place where wars often occur in the sanctuary of the fallen world, saw this scene at the moment, not only did not feel any sense of panic, on the contrary, he felt more and more excited, eager to go up and do a fight. This time, the scene is especially vivid. Find a place to watch a few games by yourself. Don't be like a baby bird. I get used to it when I spit it out. Spit it out and get used to it, don't be addicted to it. Reconcile the state on your side a little bit, it won't work. In any case, this mentality must be stabilized. There will be brand new training waiting for you later. Tai Shuja glanced around, then curled his lips and said, "When I came to this Colosseum, I was most excited about Bai Piao. The gambling table. Wipe. There are gambling tables everywhere. Damn it. It's done. This wave is really done. Boy Fang Fan, we have to unite. Let's play big. When the time comes, you go to the arena to fight, and I'll open the market for you, and then take all." While Bai Piao was talking, the sound of breathing gradually became extremely rapid. While talking, he subconsciously rubbed his hands together. As long as it involves the matter of the Star Core, Bai Piao will be particularly excited. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this gesture is vividly displayed. Boo boo boo, all kinds of states have completely flown. Gambling is not allowed here. The background of this Colosseum is very deep, don't make trouble. I won't be able to keep you then. Uncle G glared at Bai Piao, and then followed up with a warning. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, looking a little surprised. You must know that this cheap master has always been fearless, but this time he seems so cautious. This can only show that the background of this Colosseum is indeed extremely deep. Bai Piao's desire to get rich that had just been ignited disappeared immediately because of Tai Shuja's words. Such a good opportunity to make a fortune was wasted like this. Master, this is the holy city of light. This is a place that symbolizes justice and light. Will they allow this kind of place to exist once the Temple of the Alliance of Light is on the sidelines? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, then shrugged and said. Although he didn't think that these first-class people in the Temple of the Alliance of Light were so noble and bright, but the teaching was so, they still had to pretend to be saints on the surface. But the appearance of this Colosseum is quite different from the bright image they displayed. Generally speaking, this kind of place is generally destroyed directly as a place where heretics gather. He. Those old fellows in the Temple of the Alliance of Light are just talking about it. As long as they don't do this under their noses, they can't control it. Besides, most of the daily income of such a Colosseum goes into their pockets. It's too late for them to protect, how could they be willing to close it down? Furthermore, practitioners in the Holy City of Light will always have some conflicts. If they fight on the spot, they will definitely be held accountable by the temple. But if it is solved in a place like the Colosseum, then there will be no problem. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2658. Taishaji pondered for a while, and then spoke out some unspoken rules. Everywhere is like this, unspoken rules layer upon layer. When I first came to this kind of place, it was really exciting to see the blood raining and the meat all over the sky. But after watching it a couple of times, it didn't make much sense. Anyway, it was you who killed me from the beginning to the end, and if I killed you, the big deal would be to kill each other a little bit. As for Baipiao at this moment, his face is full of indignation. There is definitely something shady in it. Grass. It's so cold for such a big guy just now. A 3-star sanctuary can't do a 2-star sanctuary. What about playing? What the hell is this fighting? Labor and capital have lost another 10 billion. Grass. I just want to make a lot of money. This Colosseum is illegal. It's not official at all. I don't play cards according to the rules. Baipiao yelled cursingly at the side. While talking, the gesture of gnashing his teeth was very real. While speaking, the sound of exhaling gradually became extremely rapid. Other things don't need to be said for the time being. Now Baipiao is completely red-eyed. How heroic he was when he played gambling with Fang Fan in the past. Now, it's totally a stick. I now understand the meaning of that sentence. There is no business that loses money. Grass. It's so real. This brain is about to explode. This is so. Playing. Baipiao continued to swear, then couldn't help looking at Fang Fan. Boy Fang Fan. You go to the ring. I bet on you, so it's impossible to lose. Fang Fan boy, if you go up, I will share half of the money you earn. Let's add 21 to 5, why not divide 50% into 50%? No matter how bad it is, I will give you 7. Baipiao looked very humble. In order to earn star cores, Baipiao at this moment has long been too lazy to show any face. Can the face be eaten as a meal? Star core, isn't it fragrant? Do those things that are not there. What are you doing? Don't worry, I will definitely give you a chance later. Those instructors brought us here, it's impossible to just let us watch a few brutal battles. There should be other training programs in the future. If it's time to go to the Colosseum, can you do it like this? Fang Fan's eyes scanned Baipiao's body. This guy is clearly the 5 scum of Zhan, and he will be abused when he goes up. The picture at that time may be really good. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and then secretly slandered. Why can't I do it anymore? It's really not good, can't I admit defeat? With her head held high, Baipiao spoke the most cowardly words in the most arrogant manner. Don't lose face. Didn't you fall in love with some girls from the seed class of the 1st grade? Fang Fan glanced at Baipiao, and he had already figured out the little thought of this guy clearly. Cough. Love is precious, life is more expensive. Can love be eaten? Like what you like, that's not love. Fang Fan, you must figure out the inner connection here. Baipiao's posture was high-spirited. While talking, his eyes became more and more calm. This guy is obviously cowardly. He talks so gaudily about counseling. Fang Fan stretched his waist, almost wanting to doze off. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2659. Now I have accumulated more than 2,000 high-grade star cores in my hands. Converted into low-grade star cores, it is 200 billion. It's really not too little. Find time to promote all the top 10 legions under him. Except for the Blood Shura Legion, which is in the 2-star Sanctuary realm, the top 10 legions under his command are all in the 1-star Sanctuary realm. In general, there is a long way to go. Fang Fan thought to himself, then sat in the auditorium crossing his legs. On the left is Xiao Li Yulai, and on the right is Lu Jiyi. The two women seemed to be jealous on purpose, rushing to give Fang Fan a massage for a while, and delivering some fruit elixirs for a while. Anyway, it's a big show of hospitality. Fang Fan was seated at the front, and the other students in the first-year seed class felt inexplicably bitter when they saw this scene. This life is too sad. This brain is buzzing unconsciously. Thoughts gathered here, and the whole person followed suit. What else can this say? It's okay to watch such a cruel and terrifying battle, and I'm used to spitting and spitting. Now I've finally calmed down, and I'm going to eat dog food again. There is nothing more tragic than this in life. Because Murong Yu had to take into account his status as a mentor, he naturally couldn't get so close with Fang Fan. As for the middle-aged beautiful woman mentor Ding Ling, she has long stared at Fang Fan with vicious eyes. She mainly fights for her niece, concubine Xiang. Tai Shiji glanced around for a few times, and when he saw Fang Fan, his most proud disciple, he also felt a bit of a headache. Good guy, is this taking you out for training, or for you to travel? This is completely the enjoyment of an emperor. It's really comfortable. Everyone is optimistic about it. Are you used to vomiting? Then don't spit it out, save it, and spit it out later. Follow me, I will take you to the next place for training. Tai Shiji suddenly followed and gave orders. Hundreds of students in the first-year seed class looked at each other, and the bitterness on their faces grew more and more. This has just stopped, what kind of trouble is going to happen? This brain is still hurting. However, everyone can't disobey Tai Shiji's order, they can only follow behind with gritted teeth. Fang Fan was shocked suddenly. Finally, I can move. Looking at this, I almost fell asleep. Everyone walked around in the Colosseum, going directly into its interior. King Shura, you are here. When he arrived in the Colosseum, a middle-aged man dressed as a manager greeted him with a smile on his face, and then greeted Tai Shiji respectfully. King Shura. Fang Fan seemed rather stunned, what is this called? King Shura is the top 3 holders of our Colosseum's current winning streak. It is the glory of our Colosseum. It is my honor to serve King Shura. While the middle-aged steward was talking, the admiration in his eyes grew more and more. What are you talking about? What is there to say about this matter? Tai Shiji scolded, although he said it calmly, his chest stood up unnaturally. That arrogant look is so real. Still thinking about showing off in front of my precious apprentice. The top 3 holders of the winning streak. Is it the top 3 or the third? Master, you don't have enough cards. Fang Fan curled his lips and said with a serious face. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2660. Hearing Fang Fan's words, Grand Uncle Ji's expression instantly collapsed. Good guy. Slap in the face. Cough. It doesn't matter if it's the third or the top 3, it's almost the same. I think that when I was a teacher, I won 38 consecutive victories. Tai Shiji shook his head and said arrogantly. Thinking of those glorious days, there is light in those eyes. The third place in the winning streak record with 38 consecutive victories. Then, how much is the first place? Is there any reward for doing this kind of ranking? How much is the reward for the first place? Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then said with a bright eye. Hearing what Fang Fan said, Grand Uncle Ji opened his mouth, feeling a little headache for no reason. It's too stressful to have an apprentice with special equipment. This doesn't seem to be a pretense, because this apprentice is really so awesome. To some extent, it is indeed able to suspend all dissatisfaction. Thinking of this, Tai Shuja's face immediately collapsed. The first place is a legend. 49 consecutive victories. A character like that, I admire him so much. Tai Shuji murmured to himself, and all kinds of feelings became more invisible while speaking. At this moment, the sense of urgency from the heart has inexplicably increased. It is conceivable that the person who can make Tai Shuja admire is not a good person. So if you get the first place in this winning streak, what reward will you get? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and while talking, a look of anticipation appeared on his face. Gotta get some motivation. Otherwise, if there is nothing, wouldn't it be useless? With Fang Fan's thoughts so far, the smile on his face involuntarily increased. Cough, this young man, of course there will be rewards. According to the rules of our Colosseum, as long as you enter the top 100 in the winning streak list, you can get 100 million low-grade star cores rewarded by the Colosseum. Enter the top 50, and the reward will be doubled, which is 200 million low-grade star cores. Enter the top 20, the reward will be doubled 10 times. 2 billion low-grade star cores. Enter the top 10. The reward will be doubled again. 20 billion low-grade star cores. If you can enter the top 3 ranks, you will be rewarded with a one-time reward of 100 billion low-grade star cores. The second place will reward 300 billion low-grade star cores. And the first place will directly reward a semi-artifact. The middle-aged steward standing aside was talking, and the excitement on his face was beyond words. Needless to say anything else, this gesture is very real. I have to say, this reward is really tempting. Can these rewards be superimposed? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then said seriously. Of course. Since the young hero is a disciple of King Shura, it must be no problem to enter the top 100 in the winning streak. Hey, our Colosseum is about to prepare 100 million low-grade star cores. The middle-aged steward nodded obsequiously, and while talking, the smile on his face grew more and more. The artistic sense of this speech is very strong, which makes people sound quite comfortable. It not only gave the Uncle G face, but also set off Fang Fan. That's it? If it can be superimposed, then if I directly hit the first place, wouldn't I be able to get more than 300 billion low-grade star cores? There are more than 3,000 high-grade star cores. Plus a semi-artifact. If I remember correctly, a semi-artifact starts with 1 trillion low-grade star cores. Tisk. This is a cornucopia. Fang Fan glanced around, and then sighed with satisfaction.